Hello there. I'm Scotty. That was my clicker. You're not. Me or the clicker. Welcome to the conclusion of Birth Month. We are looking at Menace from 1993. Yes, this is what I chose for the last one. This was not the review I was going to do. But I didn't feel like watching that movie. But I'm going to have to do it for Universal Month. So we'll see you there for that one. We are looking at Menace from 1993, like I said, starring Walter Matthau, rest in peace, grumpy old men and all that stuff, and a woman who, when I was a kid, I swear it was the lady from Home Alone 2, Brenda Fricker. I thought it was her. No, this is just some other old lady, but I could have sworn it was her as a kid. This is another one of those where I was just like, wait, what? It's not the right one. This is another one of those that I watched when I was a kid and haven't watched in a long time. There are other ones there too, like Andre with the seal, Zeus and Roxanne. There are still more of those I could do in the future timeline, but this is one that I never revisited. I bought this for either $7.50, $5, or $3.74, depending on which bin I took it from at Walmart. That's where it was, and I still never went to watch it. Revisited. This was on at one point I was going to do a marathon of reviews of movies based on TV shows, which I do count this because there was 2 TV shows, live action, animated. Yeah. But I grew up, I read the comic strip in the newspaper. I watched the cartoon. Yeah, I love Menace and Menace. But why didn't I like this movie? I don't know. After watching this, there is something that So watching this, I noticed there's no fucking plot. No, if you were to explain the plot, is that Dennis the Menace, while being watched by the Wilsons, is kidnapped by a criminal called Psycho Sam or some shit. Switchblade Sam. But that's not the plot. The plot consists of a bunch of things happening, Dennis messing shit up, and then in the third act they decided, now something has to happen, and he gets kidnapped. And it's weird, coming from an era where you think the kid would be the hero, and it would be like Mr. Wilson that's kidnapped by Switchblade Sam, or his friend Margaret or something. But no, we get a bunch of nonsensical stuff where he keeps messing with Mr. Wilson throughout the film. Then the plot, with Christopher Lloyd playing Switchblade Sam just popping up, basically saying, I'm in the movie. And then eventually, shit hits the fan when he tries to rob Mr. Wilson. Dennis spots him and ruins something for Mr. Wilson. They ignore him completely. They all run into the house to see what was robbed. And he still just ignores him completely until finally realizing, oh, he was right. And then the kid gets kidnapped. And everyone's like, oh, we have to look for him. But nobody, they just like put out flyers and shit or something. No one even tries to look around, you know. And the cop, the sheriff, played by, I had it earlier, I said it several times, Paul Winfield, talked to this guy earlier in the film and then think, hey, what about that weird guy that was, you know, standing at a playground watching children? You can do that nowadays, you could not. No. But I will say that I did enjoy it. I had some laughs. But it was halfway through the film. All this goofy stuff was happening. I'm going, when are we going to have a plot? When does it... Because you have goofy stuff in movies like Little Rascal or Home Alone. And Home Alone is one of the reasons why this movie's kind of made... Hey, there's a quirky blonde kid that can cause trouble. But Home Alone has a plot around all the trouble he's causing. Whereas this one, he's just doing shit. There's no plot. Like I said, it's just goofy things. Then we cut to Christopher Lloyd. Oh, I'm in this movie. Don't worry. I'll be relevant soon. And then eventually he just does show up. Right? And this movie was directed by Nick Castle. That's right. Nick Castle. As in... This smells weird. To be fair, this has been sitting for a while. Paint shit in there. Not on my face, is it? I haven't used this mask in a couple of years. Probably should think about doing Halloween Horror Month around this, but I don't know. Yes, that Nick Castle, the very first original Michael Myers, Nick Castle, directed this. I think he's directed other movies. Hold on. Yeah. Directed Tag, the Assassination Game. He directed The Last Starfighter. So what? Directed The Boy Who Could Fly. Never heard that one. Tap. Okay. Gregory Hines and Sammy Davis Jr. Okay. He wrote Hook and was replaced as director. He was going to direct it. Next time, Major Payne. Mr. Wrong. Ellen DeGeneres. Well, for Ellen, every Mr. is wrong. Delivering Milo. 'Twas the night. Seat filler. August Rush. Are you telling me I have seen 3 movie films? 3? No. Yeah, 3 movie films directed by Nick Castle. I didn't know it, but this one I knew. So the other 2, Major Payne and 'Twas the Night. 'Twas the Night's a Disney film. Disney Channel original film. Yeah, so they established in this movie that Dennis is 5. I don't think that's right, because I imagine he's more like 10 or something in the cartoon, but he's 5. And this feels like an older kid. As I don't know how old the kid was. Mason Gamble. Let's see, when was he born? 86. Yeah, he wasn't 5. He was almost 10. 93? No. He was 93, so they filmed 92. So I'm going 5 would be 7, 88, 89, 90, 91, 93. So about 7. So he's a little older. But it feels like he's overplaying. I know it's a 7-year-old we're talking about, so I'll be for him to judge. But it feels like they're overdoing it. Like they have him overdoing it. The cute weirdo voice he does, and "Hi, Mr. Wilson," and I know that's his catchphrase, but he says it so many times I wanted to throw the DVD out the window. "Hey, Mr. Wilson!" Every time he sees Mr. Wilson. Do you have to do that every time? He feels like he's acting. Look at me, I'm cute. So much in this film, but he's a pain in the ass. That's Dennis the Menace for you. But I don't know. It just feels like he was told to act younger than he was. And you got other cast members. Leah Thompson, I know she's in this. Natasha Lyonne is the babysitter. Buzz. Speaking of Home Alone, Buzz is the girl that babysitter's boyfriend. Buzz. Ben Stein is in here. I didn't see that part. Anyway, so the whole thing that you've seen this scene. You've seen this scene a million times, I guarantee it. Where he sneaks in, he thinks that because Mr. Wilson is snoring, he thinks he's sick, so he shoots an aspirin into his mouth with a slingshot. Yeah. Apparently he was pretending to be asleep. I didn't get that at all. But, no. One thing I will say is that they made the guy playing Dad, they made him look shockingly like the dad from the comics in the cartoon. He's one I was like, they did the hair and everything. But yeah. Best friend Joey. Does Joey even have anything? Is that the other voice I heard when I was doing dishes? Kellen Hathaway, Joey McDonald. So he's left with Joey, but not at Joey's house, because then it's such a menace. At another friend's house, Margaret, but who Dennis doesn't seem to like. They always were sort of like frenemies in the cartoon that I remember. It's been years. They fix up an abandoned treehouse, and this is where the Switchblade Sam shows up and takes one of Margaret's China dolls. Dennis spills paint in the garage and tries to vacuum it up. You do not vacuum up liquids. You do not. Unless it's like some snow on a rug. But do not try to vacuum up a spill like that. You don't know. It accidentally spurts a glob of it on George's barbecue grill, which gets his chicken. I thought it was a pork chop. Apparently it was chicken. And you meet Mr. Wilson is like... So Dennis is left with the babysitter, Polly, Natasha Lyonne. Her boyfriend, Buzz. He has a name, but I'm going to call him Buzz. Is there. And he can't read. The 5-year-old in the bathtub is better at reading than this teenage boy. And I'm sitting there watching this and I go... What? There are quite a few scenes in this, at least 3, where he's in the bathtub. And I'm sitting there watching this, I'm like, this is a teenage boy that this kid does not know. Where's the babysitter in this? I mean, she just let him sit there. It's harmless. He's reading a book or trying to read a book. Mispronouncing words and stuff. Then Dennis decides to prank them by ringing the doorbell over and over again until Buzz puts a thumbtack on it. And of course, this is when Mr. Wilson figures out about the vacuum in the Mitchell's garage. And he accidentally shoots himself in the ass with a golf ball. And then going to confront the Mitchells, or this Dennis, he rings the doorbell but pricks his thumb on the tack. And then the babysitter and Buzz think that he's a prankster, so they douse him with water and flour. Mrs. Wilson thinks this is funny, but... And of course, during all this, Switchblade Sam is committing robberies. He's, we get one scene from Chief Bennett who tells him to leave. And then he says this. Switchblade Sam goes, I was going to be on my way until you decided to shoot the breeze or something like that. And I was like, you were obviously just standing there watching the children. I don't know. We get another scene that everyone has most likely seen. The teeth. Dennis decides to play with George's dentures and with Mr. Wilson's dentures and breaks the first 2 teeth and replaces them with chiclets. Just this all before, as we get this sort of plot point that Mr. Wilson has such a fucking good garden that it zoomed in. Hold on. That they voted him best garden and taking pictures. I'm like, this is... R.L. Stine would put this in a Goosebumps book. Or at least they'd use it for an episode of Goosebumps. The gnomes, the lawn gnomes. And of course, George takes forever to wake up. Mr. Wilson takes forever to wake up. Comes out, and we lead up to the joke of the chiclets in his mouth and his teeth. And it's during this that Henry and Al, the parents, both have to be on business trips. I hate this co-worker of hers so much, where she comes up and she's like, well, I heard you don't want to go on the business trip. Well, if you don't go on a business trip, I have to go on a business trip. And, well, I don't have any kids, but I do have a personal life, so it's not going to happen. Basically, she's saying, you're married, I'm single, so I get to go on vacation and you have to deal with it. That's almost worse. It's like, you're single, which means you actually have no responsibilities, which means you should be the one to go, and the married woman with a husband and a child should stay home. But no. She leaves, and so then the mom is forced, or she goes on a thing, and the mom's forced to go on a business trip, and they're forced to. No one, not even the babysitter that was pretty much just fine with Dennis. They never explain why they don't call the babysitter. You're just, I think you're just supposed to assume that the whole flour and water thing that was not pulled on the babysitting and her boyfriend made them excommunicado? I don't know, but it's convoluted just so he can stay with the Wilsons. That's a lot. And yeah, he replaces his nasal spray with mouthwash and his mouthwash with toilet cleaner. You don't want toilet cleaner in your mouth. I don't know about all of them, but some toilet cleaners are what's the word? They can break stuff down. What's the word for that? I had it in my head. Chemical. Oh, not chemical or else. Chemic. What? Go away! Chemical. Solvent. No. Go. Meaning. Break. Down. Chemical breakdown mechanism. No, that's not what I mean. Biology. Decomposition and chemical breakdown. Sustainability. Caution. Hold on. I'm going to look up the chemical we use. Sparkling. Sparkling or sparkling? Maybe I'll say it on this. I need the label so I can $9 visit site. There's the word. Well cleaner. Will it show me the label on the back? I want the back label. No, just effective acid based. So like caution. Bathroom, restroom. What is the word? Grease is the word. That's not what I meant. What the hell happened there? Oh. Sparkling. Here. Sparkling with a C. Restroom cleaner. Click on it. Oh. And I visit the site then. This is what I want. Restroom disinfectant. Click to enlarge. I get it. Danger. Fresh mint. Does not smell like mint. Enlarge. You can't read it though. Can you stop? Danger. I can't think of the word though. Description. Sure. Sources. Wait. SDS English. It'll tell me everything I need to know about it right here. Say that at work. Corrosive! It's corrosive. And I didn't even get to the word. I just saw the warning label and it popped up. So, some toilet bowl cleaners can be corrosive. You don't want to... And what was it that he said replaced it? The toilet cleaner mouthwash. You don't want to gargle that shit. No. We get one appearance from Dennis's dog running around the Wilson's house, and then, yeah. Oh, yeah, and then, yeah, it's the whole scene where, another scene you've probably seen where he mistakes the dog for his wife. And Mr. Wilson sips on mothballs. So, yes, Mr. Wilson has been spent 40 years growing a flower, a rare orchid that will finally bloom. Apparently it blooms, then immediately dies. I'm sorry, that's a waste of 40 fucking years. I'm gonna grow this thing for 40 years so it can just bloom, then die. And while the Wilsons and their guests are outside doing this, Dennis spots Switchblade Sam trying to steal Mr. Wilson's gold coins. Antique coins. And so Dennis tries to tell them, and they all get distracted just as the flower blooms. And then Mr. Wilson turns around, sees that it has now died, and freaks out. Everyone runs in the house when Dennis says this, by the way. But Mr. Wilson's so angry he won't even pay attention to anything. You know, no, that's it. Everybody leave! Everybody get out! And, yeah. After being yelled at by Mr. Wilson, Dennis runs off to the woods and is kidnapped by Switchblade Sam. And finally, we have a plot, people. Yes, this is with 30 minutes left of the goddamn film, but here it is. Yes. Dennis's parents arrive home to find out that their son is gone. And so now the entire town searches for him, including Mr. Wilson, who is now guilt-ridden. Okay. This makes no sense. And I'm putting this out there. This is not me. This is on what the movie has shown us so far. They have shown that Dennis is such a rotten ass kid that no one will babysit him. Nobody wants to be around him. His friends basically have alienated him. We don't see his friends just for one scene here. And now this whole town is searching for this kid that they find to be a menace. Also, I love how both parents are on different business trips, but come back at the same time. Mr. Wilson decides to go look for Dennis, but because he finds out that Dennis was telling the truth, it took long enough. And I did laugh because even Switchblade Sam has had enough because Dennis keeps annoying him. He's telling him he was tying him up the wrong way. And Dennis ends up handcuffing him, loses the key, and then unintentionally smacks him upside the head a few times. Sets him on fire. And then finds Mr. Wilson's gold coins. And realizes Switchblade Sam is the thief. You didn't know that before? Switchblade Sam tries to stab Dennis, but is caught in a rope that is caught by a passing train. And he stabs himself in the ass. That's funny too. And yes, then Sam is kind of out right now. Then everyone is still worried about Dennis, and he comes just walking up with Switchblade Sam. And I'm saying, this is a 5-year-old. Yes? How? How did he do all this? Again, it would be just as unrealistic if it was him and his friends saving someone, but at least it's one of those kid movie tropes you would expect. Where here it's like, how did not? It was all pure accident. We see it, but it's just really? And yeah, Sam is arrested by the chief, and Dennis gives him his knife back, and as he tries to stab Dennis again, his hand is smooshed in the police car door, drops the knife into a storm drain, and he's in pain, and the cops drive him away. With all the kids going, yeah. So the Wilsons and Dennis's parents, they, we're all cool. You lost our kid, but it's not your fault. And Dennis's mom says she's not taking business trips anymore. And she can bring Dennis to work with her. Now it has a daycare center. And, the Wilsons like, no, you know what? We can watch him. And they're like, oh, no. No, it's no problem, really. And then Dennis just flings a flaming marshmallow into Mr. Wilson's head. Credits. During the credits, that bitch gets what she deserves. During the credits, Dennis ends up getting the co-worker lady smushed in the copy machine, and her face to be copied in the copy machine. That bitch got what she deserved. Yes. I'll give this a middle of the road. It's fine for what it was, but I can see why I never returned to it. There's no plot until the last 30 minutes where it's he's doing gooey stuff, and then finally oh, we need some sort of plot. But the plot never really involves anything, because it's oh, he's kidnapped. Nobody finds him to rescue him. He rescues himself. So it's just what is it? I can see why I never went back to this, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine and fun. It's the middle of the road. So, what are your thoughts on Dennis the Menace? No, come so much like, sharing, subscribing. Thank you. Thank you for joining me once again for another birth month. I still got 2 physical media videos to film, but I'll get those done. Don't worry. Thank you for watching. I've been Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.